Welcome to another episode of the Author Collaborative. This week, as always, I'll have another author as a guest on this segment, and I'll be discussing his latest book with him. In fact, his debut novel, which I enjoyed reading, and we'll be talking about how he went about writing it and what is his process about writing. Hello, thank you, Bukaya. Thank you, Read with Taran. Thank you for joining. I am waiting for this week's guest to join us so we can begin today's episode. Welcome to this week's episode of the Author Collaborative. Let me see if he's joined us. Please stay tuned, and I promise this is going to be a really exciting episode. I'm going to be talking to a debut author, and he's going to tell us some tips about how to go about writing your first book and what are the steps involved in approaching the publishers when you're new to the industry. Hello Ranjit, thank you for the love. Ritesh is here, but I am not able to invite you. Ritesh, I don't see the button of the invite option next to you, next to your name. So if you could just maybe go to the App Store and update your app. Can you please check if the app that you have is the updated version of Instagram? I don't see the option of inviting you. We have some issues with Ritesh's Instagram. Hello Sakshi, thank you for joining. We are waiting for today's guest to join us so we can begin the episode. Please stay tuned with us. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions for me as we wait for the guest to join us, please feel free to ask in the comments. Ritesh and I are going to discuss our latest books. In fact, his book is the debut novel that he has just recently published. It is titled A Walk in My Shoes, and it's a contemporary romance. Yes, he'll be joining us in a few seconds. Please stay connected. Hi, Ritesh.
Hello.
I think you need to turn the camera. We are not able to see your face. Yes.
Yeah.
Now you are visible. Hello. Welcome to the Author Collaborative. I'm so excited to have you as a guest.
Hey, man.
Okay, before we talk about the book, Ritesh, why don't you tell the viewers something about yourself and what we are going to be discussing? We have a lot of people joining. Hello, everyone, for joining.
Ma'am, first of all, thank you for your help during my journey.
It's my pleasure.
At that moment,
It's always so exciting to see a debut author and somebody who has always dreamed of, having their book published, see their dream getting realized. So I am just, a teeny tiny step. If I can help in that journey, it's a privilege.
at that moment, you were really a golden angel for me in that help.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you. So tell us about yourself and how this book came about and what was that journey like.
Basically, by profession, I'm an engineer, and by qualification, I'm an engineer. By profession, businessman. But अब ये कह सकते हैं पैशन ने ऑथर बना दिया.
Wonderful. So आपने पढ़ाई engineering की करी हुई है and you are doing business and now you are also a published author. That's like multiple hats in the same lifetime.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's so inspiring. Can you just hold up the book for us so we know what we are talking about? Yes, it's a beautiful cover. It's titled A Walk in My Shoes, and it's a contemporary romance, fiction romance. And I really enjoyed reading about it, especially because, I mentioned in my review also, especially because it takes you back to the college days, जहाँ पे आप घर से दूर रहते थे. How was that experience? It makes you relive all those days. I was one such person that, I also had to go out of my hometown to do my graduation. So your book made me recall those days when, finding the PG, going out with PG mates, studying with the college people So that was a wonderful journey. So kudos on that. And before I fire my questions to you related to the book, I want you to read out a few passages. You're
The
getting
Tough
so.
Decision, Chapter
I'm
15,
I'm
12th
sorry I'm
March.
interrupting you. We are getting so many hearts and people are joining in. So I just want to say thank you and stay tuned with us. Ritesh is just reading out from his book. Yes, please go on.
Chapter 15th, 12th March 2009. The tough decision of movie date was called by her. But another tougher decision for me was to select the clothes for me. An immature fashion sensed person doesn't know how to match clothes. The role of clothes in my life was to cover the body. Today I was finding it difficult to do the same. So Soumya helped me over that.
I think we have some connectivity issues from Ritesh's side. Stay tuned with us. I'm sure he'll be back in a few seconds. Yes, Ritesh, we lost you for a while, I think.
Am I audible and visible now?
Yes, yes, you are. I think you just read out the last line, which was the purpose of clothes for me was to cover my body. That was the last line you read.
Okay, let's go to the another chapter.
Okay.
Like always, we were sharing silly things with each other when I realized that I had found puja in my life again.
Hmm.
I wanted to express myself, but the fear of losing my friend, like my past experiences, made me drop the idea. Shall I continue? It's enough.
No, no, read a few more lines. I think we are getting a lot of positive comments. People are holding on to, they are curious.
Why are you silent? Manali said. Nothing. Just recall something and was occupied by that. Sorry. I tried to recall the situation. What were we talking about? Ronak, what's the matter? Nothing, Manu. Some family matter. I tried to change the flow. Haha, you failed. Please tell me what the matter is. It's nothing like that. If you don't mind, can I call you back in 2 minutes? I asked. No problem, but don't sleep. I'm waiting. I said. Sure, we'll be back in 2 minutes. I disconnected the call. And now I will ask the readers to go for a walk in my shoe to know what happened over the call.
Yes, exactly. Good read, Ritesh. And I'm sure everyone is curious to know what this conversation is all about. We have here Ranjit who's saying, "Hey Manu," she she recognized the character's name is the same as my name. Yeah, and a lot of my friends call me Manu, so she identified
Okay.
that and she's sending us hearts.
Okay.
We have a lot of comments. A few people have said they loved your reading. Priyank has said amazing. Then we have Kanitesh saying loved it. Thank you so much for all your positive comments, everyone. To know more about this book, please contact Ritesh on his Instagram. I'm sure he'll be happy to share the book link with you. Now, based on my reading of your book, I have a few questions for you because I'm very curious to understand, because everyone has a different process of writing. So, based on my reading, I have a few questions for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
My first and very foremost question to you is that since you are a debut author, I'm sure finding a publisher was not an easy job. And having said that, I'm sure everyone who's listening to us and who is thinking or is aspiring to become an author, they want to understand from you as a debut author how you went about it. How did you approach the publishers and what was the whole process like?
Ma'am, writing was too easy for me. When I moved to the publisher, that was the toughest part of the writing, of publishing it, the book. I approached many publishers from the I just sources from the net, all the famous publishers in the India. I
Hmm.
dropped mail to every publisher. I got the reply from the automailer that your script have been submitted. Now wait for 90 days or 120 days and
Hmm.
don't reply or don't ping us again. If your script is selected, we will contact you on our own.
Okay.
And many other publishers also said that we are not right now not interested in the love story. And few said that we want another genre. If you have that, please give us a ping.
Okay.
फिर बाद में approximately 6 महीने बाद I got a link for Kalamos Publishing. Then I contacted Kalamos Publishers. They shown the interest in the book. And then we got into the agreement, and as on date, I walk in my shoes in the market.
Okay. Wow. So, how long would you say it took you to get an? I'm not asking about the writing duration. I'm asking about when you were ready with your final draft, not your final draft, not the publisher's final draft. When you were ready with your final draft, until the time you got Kalamos's nod that yes, we want to go ahead. How long?
Approximately 6 months.
6 months. Okay. So minimum 6 months everyone has to wait, right?
No, ma'am, it's not necessary for the minimum 6 months. It all depends if you can get the proper publisher with you. हर पब्लिशर का अपना अपना एक एरिया ऑफ इंटरेस्ट है. अगर किसी पब्लिशर के पास रोमांस ज्यादा हो गया तो वो थ्रिलर ढूंढता है, किसी को थ्रिलर मिल गया तो साईफाई ढूंढता है.
Okay.
तो इट ऑल डिपेंड्स के उस समय उस पब्लिशर को क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है.
Correct. And but as far as my understanding goes, because I have also published in traditional, and I have also self-published, and then my self-published books got accepted as traditional publishers. So what my understanding is so far is that no publisher will reply you within a month. They take at least 2 to 3 months. The big publishers, at least, they will take 3 months. जैसे कि आप रूपा या हार्पर कॉलिन्स ये सब का ले लो, they will not reply.
सबका 90 to 120 डेज का प्रीडिफाइंड फॉर्मेट सेट है, वो रिप्लाई वही आता है कि इतने दिन आपको वेट करना पड़ेगा.
Correct. Okay, thank you for sharing that experience with us. Now, my very specific question related to the book. The lead character, Ronak Bajaj, is a very interesting person. And what I wanted to understand is that काफी कॉम्प्लेक्स कैरेक्टर है उसका. हम उसका ग्रोथ देखते हैं. We see his growth from the first chapter to the last chapter. And the story is also moving between the past and the present. So how was that transition, and how did Ronak's character development came across for you?
For that, I have to tell you how I wrote this book. Actually, I used to travel in 2011 and 12. I used to travel a lot for my business purpose. And that time we were not having any OTT platforms for entertainment.
Correct.
Solo entertainment was the book only. So for 2 years, I read a lot of love stories. Then I started writing from 2013. And all the properties, all the characteristics of the Ronak are from the co-passengers in the train and the flights.
Wow.
The character is designed from the traveling only.
That is so amazing. So what you definitely have is that keen observation skills. लोगों को ऑब्जर्व करो, उनको देखो, उनके क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है, वो कैसे बिहेव कर रहे हैं, so that you can develop a character like that in your book or in your stories. That's very important, right?
मैम ये उस जमाने में हो सकता था, अब नहीं होता. सब अपने अपने मोबाइल में लगे हुए होते हैं.
That's not necessarily true. My debut novel came out in 2021, and it is also contemporary fiction. But I think being a keen observer goes with our trade of being a writer, being introverts, and being more about being silent and letting other people talk. I think that's something that I have observed as a character trait in most writers. Is that what you also feel?
Pardon your question, ma'am. Cut हो गया था थोड़ा.
My question was that I have observed that as writers, we are more of mute spectators rather than active participants in any conversations. Is your also observation like that? Does that
No,
mean?
ma'am, you're not getting my point, ma'am. Earlier, people used to talk with each other, the surrounding passenger, the adjacent passenger. Then I used to observe their characteristics, listen to their incidents. But nowadays, what happens? Everybody just plug in their headphone and he's within his phone only. If you are also traveling, you will see that major of the persons are occupied within themselves only. They're not talking to the adjacent passenger. So you can't judge them when they're silently sitting in their seat.
But ये थोड़ा सा ना मुझे लग रहा है I will have to deviate from your thinking, because I am also like that. I don't engage in conversations with them, but I observe. So, and I also put in my earphones. Despite that, I can say that I'm a keen observer based on what characters I write, I know that I have seen this personality trait in somebody that I have met in my travels. So it depends from person to person, I guess.
Ma'am, I also plug in my headphones many times. I also observe the person, but the person is just either involved in a book, either
Hmm.
in the mobile phone. He's not talking to another passenger. So if he's not talking to the another passenger, I'm not able to judge what is happening in his life,
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
how he's responding to the particular situations. We can't
Correct.
judge that.
Okay, true. Okay. So we have to be open to, observing the people and their behavior and whatever is happening around us in order to be able to develop characters like Ronak in your debut novel. Correct?
Exactly.
Okay. That brings me to the end of questions that I had for you related to the book and how the book came about. So I leave the floor open to you now.
Ma'am, I will also want to ask you about few things about your book.
Sure, sure.
Ma'am, someone suggested me for your book,
Oh,
but I'm
wow.
not a poem lover.
Okay.
But still, I read a lot about your book. Then I started reading it.
How
Why
nice.
you choose? Why you choose the poems to express your emotions? वो भी in the small chapters only. The same can be done in the story form also.
Just a minute. Before I answer your question, I want to show the people what we are talking about so that they
Yeah.
get an idea.
Sorry for that. Sorry for that.
No, no problem. So we have already talked about Ritesh's book, and now we are talking about my book, which is available in Kindle form on Amazon, and it is this: Mindful Musings and Peaceful Ponderings, and it is a collection of 50 poems which focus on human emotions, different human emotions. And Ritesh has just asked me a question: why I chose to write poetry instead of going with short stories or small incidents or probably flash fiction, right? Is that what your question was?
Yes,
Correct.
ma'am.
Now again, before I do that, I want to read out a poem. Do you have a particular poem which you would like me to read?
Ma'am, that I'm forgetting the name. I think the name is just a call away.
The one about the mother and daughter.
Yeah. Related
Okay.
to fear. Related to fear.
Yes, yes. Okay. So this poem is titled Just a Call Away, and it focuses on the emotion of fear. It goes: a phone ring cracked the silence of the room. She picked up. It was the call she had been waiting for. It was from the one she loved the most. The expressions changed from frowns to smiles. A relief on realizing all was well. The mother wasn't afraid anymore. A feeling of being watched and followed. She quickened her footsteps, all the while watching over her shoulder. She ran the last few steps. Heaving a sigh of relief, she called the person who had helped her calm down. It was the one she relied on for everything. It was the one without whom she felt lost. The expressions changed from fear to relief. A smile spread across her face. The daughter wasn't afraid anymore. So that was the poem focusing on the emotion of fear. There are 49 other poems which each focus on a different emotion, and I hope you enjoyed my reading. Now, coming back to Ritesh's question, a popular American poet once said that as a poet, your job is to convey emotions and send out messages which are very clear for everyone, but you put it in a form that makes them feel that they are not alone in feeling that, and it can be put out in a beautiful way. So that's what I believe. No, that belief is not just stuck to being poets. I think it is true for every kind of creator, every person who's a creative person or is in any form of art. बस वही मैंने follow किया है. There is, I also believe that there's everybody can talk, but आप कैसे वो बात आगे करते हो, how do you present what you want to say, that's what makes all the difference. And for this particular collection, I felt that if I want to convey something in the form of poetry, I would be able to do it better than as short stories. Probably that's why I went with poems, and also because poetry is something I have done for the longest form of time as a writer. It comes very easily to me, that's why. Thank you, Rucha. Rucha's just okay. We have a lot of positive comments. Hi, welcome back, Ranjit. I read out a poem, you missed that, and I think we have lost Ritesh. There's some connectivity issue. Please stay tuned. Hello, can you hear me, everyone? Hello. I think there's some problem from Ritesh's side. Please stay tuned. I'm just inviting him again. Till the time he joins us, if you have any questions for us, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. We'll get back to your questions and answer them. Hello. Hi, welcome
Sorry,
back.
sorry, issue हो गया था.
कोई बात नहीं. With technology, that's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Yes. So as I was saying, because I have done poetry for the longest time, that was another reason that I chose to go with poems instead of short stories. So two reasons. Because I believe that what I wanted to convey would be best conveyed through poetry, and second, because I am comfortable with that form of writing. That's why.
Okay, ma'am. Next question. What challenges you faced in your routine life when you are not in a mood to write for the love, fear, or anger? Still, you are done with the so much 50 emotions in a single book. What were the
Um,
challenges you faced in that?
So, for this book particularly, I think the challenges were twofold. One was listing down or making a list of emotions that I wanted to focus on. And coming up with 50 different emotions was the challenge in itself. कि तुम feel करते हो ये सब, but how do you think? How do you shortlist कि I want this emotions only on in this particular book. So that was the first challenge, finding out emotions and finalizing those 50 emotions to be put in the book. And the second was that emotions to abhi we decide कर लिए. Now how to convey the message that I want to convey related to that particular emotion. And what I have done is a combination of two things in order to convey. One is a personal narrative where I have shared my own personal experiences in the poem, and the second is a form of storytelling where I have tried to use a different character, somebody who's a third person, and told their story and how that particular emotion helped them become a better person. So that was the kind of challenge that I faced.
Really tough job, ma'am. Really tough job. First of all, to write in the poetry and again the emotions. Really, ma'am. Hats off for this product,
Thank
ma'am. Creative product, ma'am.
Somebody, I think your friend is saying Manali, Ritesh sir better than Manali. They say. Thank you. I always
Ma'am,
focus on the guest more.
ma'am, he doesn't know that you have helped me in this project, ma'am. That's why he's writing it.
So probably they might also be saying that because of the connectivity. I asked
Yeah,
them about the connectivity. Maybe they are
yeah.
talking about that.
Connectivity issue is there, ma'am.
So probably they are saying that they can hear and listen to you better than me.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes. So now we come to my favorite part of the episode, which is the rapid fire round. We don't have to focus so much on such answering long form questions now. We can be fun. So are
Yeah.
you ready? What we'll do, Ritesh, is that I'll ask you one question and you can ask me one question after that. Okay? We'll
Sounds
go
good.
one by one. I'm just
Sounds good.
opening the set of questions that I have prepared for you. Okay. My first question to you is I'm going to list down a few things and you have to give me whatever comes to your mind. Okay. The
Okay.
first thing that comes to your mind when I say book promotions.
Amazon.
Sorry.
Amazon.
Okay. Oh, okay. You find them amazing. That's a positive way to look at it. The second one is authors community. Authors
Facebook.
community.
Facebook.
Okay. Okay. And the third one I have for you is social media.
Instagram.
Okay. Okay, now your turn.
Ma'am, who is your inspiration for the writing?
I think life experiences, they are my biggest inspirations. Life experiences and the people I come across, talk to, or observe in my day-to-day interactions.
Okay. Now your turn, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so this is a little tricky because I know out of my experience how I would answer this, but I want you to listen from you also. Writing a book, publishing a book, and selling a book. Rank in ascending order of difficulty. मतलब जो सबसे कम difficult है वो पहले और सबसे ज़्यादा difficult है वो बाद.
Ma'am, you have answered on your own, ma'am. The answer is within question itself. The sequence is in the ascending order only, ma'am. Writing is the easiest part. Getting it published is the next tough part, and selling is the toughest part.
True, I agree. Yes, your
Yes, ma'am.
turn.
As on date, who is your role model or the role writer for writing?
Uh, I don't have one particular author, but if I had to pick somebody, it would be either Arundhati Roy or J.K. Rowling. But then, in the past 2 3 years, I have read a lot of authors who are not very popular. You know, they are indie authors like you and me, and I have realized that there is so much to learn from each author's book that I read. For instance, when I read your book also, I was inspired by how you have managed to catch the emotions of a college going crowd. So that was also inspiring for me. I can definitely learn something from what you have done in your book and imbibe that in my upcoming books. So there's something we can pick up from every author or every book that we read.
Ma'am, thanks for mentioning me. Thank you.
My next question to you is a little tricky because I am also an editor myself. So ये थोड़ा tricky question है. So Toni Morrison, who's a very popular author, uh, said that an editor is like a priest or a psychiatrist. If you get the wrong one, then you are better off alone. It means that if you are hiring an editor, it's better to go with somebody who's really good. Otherwise, don't do it at all. So your thoughts?
Ma'am, I disagree with this thought, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, because, ma'am, in this world, if you meet anyone, you are definitely going to learn something from him.
Hmm.
And if you are approaching him as an editor, then definitely he's more intellectual than you.
Hmm.
Whether he do the good editing or the bad editing, you are definitely going to learn something from him.
True. Right. Very well said. Your turn.
Ma'am, the best part of your life as an author.
Uh, Not just as an author, because I also blog and create content very regularly on social media. I think the best part is, getting that piece of appreciation from somebody you have never met in your life or somebody you have not reached out on your own. That's the best part for me. Like, you will probably never meet that person in your life, and they might be living in a country which you will never visit or you have never heard of. So for me, that's like out of the world, being able to touch people whom you have never heard about, whom you are never going to meet.
Okay.
Yes. So my next question to you is a piece of advice you would give a debut author. Now you are not new to this industry. So what would your advice be to somebody who approaches you or asks you how to go about, publishing their book?
I will just ask that person to find out your interest and write in the interest of people and their expectations or demands.
Mm-hmm.
So that after publishing, people should read your book.
Right. That's so nicely said. Yeah, you have to understand what the people want and whether they would like it or not. So that's really important. Well said, Ritesh. Your turn.
Ma'am, if you wake up one day and you come to know that your book is topping the charts, who would be the first person whom you call to inform this?
I don't want to toot my own horn here, but this has happened with the past 5 books that I have written. Only with the first book it did not happen, and it every time this has happened, I think my parents are the first people I called. If they were with me when it happened, I would run out of my room and say, "Oh my God, did you see my book is topping?" Because I don't think सबसे ज्यादा खुशी आपके पेरेंट्स को ही होती है. आपकी जो भी सक्सेस होती है ना, आई थिंक nobody would be as happy as your parents whenever you succeed in anything that you do. So for me, they are the first people I always call or inform.
Agreed, ma'am.
So my last question to you. Looking back at your journey as an author so far, is there anything that you would like to change? Or what's that one thing that you wish that ये थोड़ा मैं अलग कर लेता तो शायद, you know, शायद इससे अच्छा कर सकता?
Ma'am, in this case, I will say that I should not have published my book. बिकॉज अब ये मेरे तीसरे बच्चे की तरह हो गई है, एडिक्शन हो गया इसका भी। मतलब डेली डेली इसको देखना, इसको प्रमोट करना और ये कहाँ स्टैंड कर रही है, ये एक एडिक्शन सा हो चुका है अब। अगर
I
सिर्फ
can
लिख के
totally.
छोड़ देता तो पॉसिबल होता कि मैं एक टेंशन फ्री होता कि मेरा एक और बच्चा है, मेरे को ये पता होता मेरे 2 ही बच्चे हैं। अब माइंड में ये हो गया मेरे 3 बच्चे हैं, मेरे को तीनों को देखना है।
Yeah, so well said. I really like that answer. Yes. So now it's your turn. Last question from your side.
मैम, एनी ड्रीम डेस्टिनेशन वेर यू वांट टू स्टे एंड राइट अ 1 चैप्टर और पोएम ऑफ योर बुक?
यार मुझे ना पहले से ही पहाड़ों से बहुत प्यार है एंड आई एम ऑल्सो अ फैन ऑफ रस्किन बॉन्ड सो इफ आई कैन गो वेर एवर ही इज और जहाँ पे उन्होंने सारी किताबें लिखी हैं सारी स्टोरीज उनकी बेस्ड है आई वुड गो देयर मसूरी डलहौजी जहाँ पे भी मैं जा सकूँ दैट एंड स्पेंड एटलीस्ट सिक्स मंथ्स ऑफ द ईयर आई वुड लव इट
आई थिंक मनन सर अलाउ नहीं करेंगे अकेले आपको 6 मंथ्स।
ही वुड बी वेरी हैप्पी आई डोंट एग्री ही वुड बी वेरी हैप्पी और अभी मैं ये बोल सकती हूँ कि वो नहीं सुनेगा ये फिलहाल तो नहीं बाद में सुनेगा और बोलेगा क्या है बट अभी मैं बोल सकती हूँ this was so much fun talking to you Ritesh and
Same
I
here, ma'am.
really we have any questions from the audience? Trust in Born India. Yes, please come. Ranjit is saying, yeah, definitely. मेरे को भी आना है यार इंडिया में रस्किन बॉन्ड को मिलना है. I think these addictions keep the writers moving ahead. She's talking about you. She's saying that आपको जो addiction हो गया आपकी बुक के साथ, that's a good addiction because it keeps you going.
थैंक्स आपके फ्रेंड के लिए।
I am a non-reader. Please suggest me 3 books to begin my reading journey. As a non-reader, and if you are looking for Indian books, I would say start with Chetan Bhagat's books because they are very easy. Their language is very simple, and they will also provide you some entertainment. So I would say Chetan Bhagat. Ritesh, would you like to recommend any book?
I would prefer either Sudeep Nagarkar or Mr. Ravinder Singh.
Yeah,
For a new
these
reader.
authors are also, yeah, they are also writing in simple English, and you
Yeah.
can probably, yeah, those are also good authors. Do you read your book reviews? How does it feel to see positive reviews, and how do you deal with bad or good ones? Uh, Priyanka Mundra is asking.
Mundra.
Would you like to answer that?
Yeah, I read my book reviews, and when I see the positive reviews, I feel good. And when I see the bad review, I just ignore it. Because I can't make everyone happy about what I've written.
Very true. Yeah. Priyanka, I would also like to answer that question because I've also written a few books. I always read all my book reviews, and in fact, the people whose reviews I really like, if I can reach them on social media, I send them a thank you message saying that thank you for picking my book and saying such good things about me and my writing. And regarding the bad ones, I don't think they are bad. If they are talking about something which can help me improve my writing, I focus on that. Otherwise, I ignore it. Who else do we have in the questions?
We don't have any more questions.
I think we have answered all the questions. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for such amazing questions and being an active audience. Very true. Addiction is important. Thank you, book lover.
Thank
Ritesh,
you.
any parting remarks?
Ma'am, just a small request that like you helped me in my first book, please be there in the next journey also.
Of course, I am always available to help you or any other authors. It makes me really feel good that the industry is growing, the community is growing. So I'll be there, happy to help you.
One more question is there.
How do you rate each other's work? ओह, ये तो बड़ा वो वाला
ट्रिकी
क्वेश्चन आ
क्वेश्चन है.
गया. So I have already reviewed Ritesh's books. You can read my review on my Bookstagram page. And Ritesh has also shared his review about my book. You can go and check that. Does that answer your question? I think we have both. Ritesh has given a 4.5 plus rating, and I have given Ritesh's book 3.5 plus rating. So
And that's
that
4.8. 4.8.
yes. And I have given Ritesh's book 3.5. So that answers your question. It was lovely listening to you. Thank you so much, Meenakshi, for joining us. And Ritesh, I hope we can do this again sometime soon. I hope you will continue writing and we see your second book out by the end of next year or maybe by 2025 max. So we can do this again.
If I will have your support, I will definitely write one more book, ma'am.
Yes, for sure. Let's keep this motivation that we can talk to each other like this again.
Yeah, sure.
And have a great weekend. Thank you everyone for joining. This episode will be available on my Instagram and my YouTube page. So in case you have missed it, you can always go back and check it out. Thank you everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, everyone.